What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan's welcome. We're officially here for episode 25 of season 2 of Hot Take Tuesday. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. We have 3 hot takes from our Discord server this week. I appreciate you guys for dropping the hot takes every single week. Episode 25 of season 2, absolutely incredible. There's no Hot Take Tuesday. There's no JDW Sports Talk Show without the fans, without you guys. So I truly appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. And I don't want to waste a lot more time, but if you do enjoy stuff like this, join the Discord server if you like to be involved in the future. I'm going to be doing a little mini giveaway for our Hot Take Tuesday family next weekend. Next week, actually. So, that's all I got for you guys today. Let's get into it. So, first hot take we have is from Joshua Kissinger. The first hot take is Colts get revenge on Frank Reich in Carolina. So, Frank Reich, 1-6, just got his first win in Carolina, while the Colts have won 3 games, lost 5. So, the Colts have definitely had more success than the Panthers have. And it seems like Shane Steichen has his team ready to go every single week. They're playing hard. And fun fact, the Colts are the only team in the NFL to score at least 20 points in every single game. That's kind of wild. And you want to know something else? The Colts are number 6 in offensive points scored, which that is pretty wild. If you told me that would have been the case with Anthony Richardson, I'd be like, probably not. And then if you threw in there with Gardner Minshew, I'd play, no, I don't think so. But I mean, Shane Steichen has all these guys playing at a very high level. I love the way he has these guys playing, and the Colts getting revenge on Carolina, on Frank Reich in Carolina, I think is very likely. The Colts have a better football team, and maybe they don't have a much better football team, but they definitely have better coaching, and that's going to be adamant in this one. We are going to see that the Colts have much better coaching now with Shane Steichen, with Jim Bob Cooter, with all these guys. Gus Bradley was here last year, but Frank Reich is going to see what real coaches can do. And that's no disrespect for Frank Reich. I'm just saying coaches that really know what they're doing and that can really be great as head coaches, which Shane Steichen has been so far. Frank Reich never really was able to. It seems like Frank Reich would be he's one of those guys. He's just a much better coordinator than a head coach, and that's where he's probably going to revert to next year, or down the line maybe. He'll probably have another year at Carolina, but Colts getting revenge on Frank Reich in Carolina. If you look at the matchup, we could run the ball. Carolina's not really good at stopping the run, and they, a couple weeks ago when they played the Vikings, they couldn't really stop the run in such and such. The Panthers aren't really good against the run. The Colts like to run the ball, and they're good at running the football with Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor. So that could be a really long day for the Panthers and that aspect of the game. Then you look at the passing, Gardner Minshew, he's going to turn the ball over no matter who he plays, whether he plays the Browns defense, whether he plays the Niners defense, or he's playing one of the worst defenses in the Broncos, or just a horrible defense. He's going to turn the ball over every single game, whether it's fumbling, whether it's throwing interceptions. It's just what Gardner Minshew is. He's a backup quarterback that's going to give you a chance whenever you single game, but he's not going to be the reason why you win or lose. That's the definition of a good backup. So the Colts getting revenge and beating Carolina, I think it's very likely. Now, the Colts can lose anyone. They can beat anyone. Their defense is horrible, so maybe Bryce Young can continue to build on a strong performance he had last week versus Houston, because Houston has a much more talented defense than the Colts in quite a few aspects. So, but Colts getting revenge on Frank Reich, I think is a bit is very likely. If Shane, like I said many times, his defense has, or Shane Steichen has his entire team playing very hard. I really like what Gus Bradley's doing. A lot of people aren't too happy with Gus Bradley right now, but I mean, he's playing his corner soft, but there's nothing he can really do. His, the cornerback that is so thin, and then on top of that, you didn't have Julius Brents last week. You were playing with Jalen Jones, Amir Speed, Darrell Baker. That gives you a little bit of an insight there of what our cornerback room is looking like. Of our secondary, it's not very good, so it's very difficult to call defense and to play good defense. I think people often forget that the players have to go out and play as well. So, but the Colts getting revenge on Frank Reich, I see. I'm gonna go warm. I'm gonna go cold, because I think it's likely that they beat the Panthers, but I'm not gonna go, chilly. Like it's guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. The Colts aren't a great football team, and if Gardner Minshew continues to turn the ball over, they could lose anyone, including the Carolina Panthers, even though Panthers just got their first win last week in Week 8. Doesn't mean they can't get their second against an Indianapolis Colts team that is stumbling, especially on defense. Offensive-wise, if they get the run game going, they don't, don't let Minshew have to do too much, and you should be able to win the football game, but there's no guarantees. There's no, there's nothing saying that it's an absolutely 100% correct that's going to happen. But I'm going cold because I think it's likely the Colts get revenge on Frank Reich in Carolina, but there's definitely that scenario in there where the Panthers do find a way to get their second win against one of the worst defenses in the NFL, honestly. It's a pretty bad defense. Coming into this year, I said many times that this Colts defense is not going to be very good. You have very little to no experience in the secondary. Julius Brands has looked phenomenal, but other than that, really haven't other guys stepped up. I mean, Kenny Moore has been playing really good in the slot, but the other boundary guy, and then we have Julius Brents out. It's not good. It typically goes pretty bad, but it is what it is. We have to do it. We have to do what we have to do. And the linebackers have been playing phenomenally. Jay Speed, Shaq, Zaire Franklin is a monster. I don't think the safeties are horrible. I like Randy Thomas. I like Julian Blackman. I thought they've been playing really well. It's just, a big-time cornerback thing. You don't have cornerbacks that can really get the job done, and there's only so much Gus Bradley can do in terms of calling plays. He can't go out there and play for them. I mean, he's older. I'm not even going to continue down that path, but the Colts getting revenge on Frank Reich, I think it's very likely. Next up on our Hot Take Tuesday slate is SilverSabs. Eagles secondary steps up and gets 2 picks against Dallas. Philly wins 27-20. So Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, big-time matchup this Thursday night. I'm really excited, really pumped up for this matchup. Two teams that are very good football teams. There's a stretch there where I was kind of looking at the Cowboys and being like, yeah, they're not really that really good football team at one point that I thought they were, but I guess they might have had a little bit of slump. They seem like they're starting to get back at it. They really dominated the Rams, had no issues whatsoever, dominated all 3 phases of the game, and quite frankly, the Eagles have struggled to dominate in any phase of the game. Their special teams is all right. Their offense is inconsistent. Their defense is inconsistent. They're an inconsistent team as a whole, and that's the Cowboys are. But I think the Cowboys are a little more talent heavy, actually. They are better in some spots. I think the defensive line is very good, if not as good. The interior not so much. Maybe let's just go with the edge. The Cowboys can really provide a edge presence on Jalen Hurts and really pressure Jalen Hurts. If you pressure Jalen Hurts, it could be a long, long night for Hurts. Hurts has not been a good quarterback. He is not a very good quarterback. He's really struggling, and especially when he's under pressure. But he did step up in the game last week when it was most important. So we'll see. But it is reported that he's dealing with some kind of knee injury, and he had to get some serious rehabbing and such after the Washington game or something like that. So that's something to keep an eye on. But there's no excuses. Every player deals with nicks and bruises. Every player gets cut up and has injuries that they're dealing with. They all have aches. Now a knee is definitely more serious, especially when you're a quarterback. Well, any player, you have to use your legs and your knees a lot. So, and you're bending, and of course with cuts, and then really with quarterbacks, it can be a balance issue. It could be a mechanic issue. It can make it very difficult to stay consistent in terms of passing the football and just doing what you got to do in the pass game. But the Eagles secondary stepping up again, 2 bigs against Dallas. I think that's likely that it's likely, but it's not. This will really go either way. I could see Dak Prescott throwing 0 interceptions. I could see him throwing 2 or 3, and it's not really because Dak is a bad quarterback. Dak is a very good quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback in my eyes. He's just very aggressive. He's like a Brett Favre. I'm not saying he's as good as Brett Favre. I'm just saying he's very, very aggressive, and typically these gunslingers do throw a lot of interceptions, and Dak Prescott does so. But he's playing a secondary that has struggled. He just allowed 31 points to the Commanders. The secondary is very inconsistent, and on top of that, the secondary is playing some really speedy, and that's an older secondary as well, and they're playing some speedy, some very athletic receivers, and Michael Gallup. You have Brandon Cooks, and a top dog in that room is CeeDee Lamb. It's going to be a tough day for the Eagles secondary, and when they play better offensive lines like the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, which is a pretty good offensive line. In the first drive versus the Rams, they allowed 3 sacks within the first 5-6 plays or something, but then none after that. So it's an offensive line that kind of needs it will show up throughout the game. It will be good enough. It will be enough, and I think the Eagles are going to be able to get pressure, but they're not going to be able to get enough in terms of really calming down the passing game. And if the Eagles are going to allow more than 20 points, the Cowboys are going to score more than 20 points. But throwing 2 picks, Dak Prescott throwing 2 picks it doesn't really matter who he's playing. He's a gunslinger. He's gonna be aggressive, and he tends to throw picks because of the way he plays. I'm gonna go warm. I think it's unlikely, but I think the chance is absolutely there that Dak Prescott does throw a couple of interceptions. But I still think that the Cowboys will win this game, actually. The Cowboys have been they've been very inconsistent. They've been very questionable, at times. Of course, they lost to the Cardinals. They got their butts beat in by the 49ers. But you could argue that the Eagles and the 49ers are similar teams in some aspects. But I think they're this is a divisional game. You're playing a quarterback that does not play well under pressure. You're playing an offense line that is much better, but you could get a lot of pressure. You have Parsons, you have Lawrence, you have some guys from the middle there that can make some plays. I'm gonna go warm for the picks. Philly wins, and with the Eagles beating the Cowboys, I'm gonna go warm as well. I think the Cowboys are gonna win that football game. That is my prediction for that. For that game on Thursday Night Football, but we will see. We will see. I will do my predictions video, but I will do it Thursday Night Football. We will get back to our primetime previews soon. Maybe this weekend. It's a good weekend with the Cowboys and the Eagles. But I'm gonna go warm for this entire hot take. I think it's unlikely that all around. I think it's unlikely that Dak throws 2 picks, but I'm not gonna go say you're crazy about it because it's very possible. Just as I'm saying it's unlikely, I'm saying it's more unlikely because of the matchup and, for everything I explained and talked about. But, the Eagles secondary stepping up and getting 2 picks. They've struggled in general. And when they play some really good receivers, we've seen what happens. And, they didn't play a great offensive line. And the quarterback is going to have more time, and Dak Prescott, he's going to have a lot more time. He's not going to be under duress as much as Sam Howell was. And, you could arguably say that they have just as good weapons, if not better, with CeeDee Lamb. That is no shot at Terry McLaurin. He's one of the better receivers in the league, 100%. But CeeDee Lamb is very good. He's one of the better ones as well. Yeah, Brandon Cooks, one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL. Yeah, Michael Gallup, who makes crazy catches, going to go up and make those crazy catches for you once in a while. And you also have Kevontae Turpin, very, very athletic, very speedy guy that you can throw in there a couple plays a game. He has a chance to make some home run plays for you. So the Eagles secondary, separate I'm getting 2 picks, warm. Philly wins, warm. I think both are unlikely, but it's a divisional matchup. It's really a coin flip. You could say whatever, but that is what I'm going to go for this hot take in this game on Thursday Night Football. All right, Tones, last but not least, the Broncos beat the Bills on Monday Night Football. Okay. So they just beat the Chiefs, right? And now they're playing the Bills, 2 powerhouses in the AFC. If they beat the Bills, I'm like, oh, okay, this Broncos team isn't the same as it was, last year at the beginning of this year. It's a completely different football team. But I still won't be ready yet to say that. I mean, both teams are getting some extra time to prepare. The Bills are getting that bit of more extra time to prepare, considering they were on Thursday Night Football against the Buccaneers and the Broncos. Monday Night Football, they have an extra day. But the Bills have a couple of extra days. So, that Broncos defense is not very good, but it has improved a lot. As they just allowed the Chiefs to 9 points, very good against the Chiefs. So I'm not gonna say it's not that good. It's been a much better defense than they have been beginning of the year. It's been very good. But we'll see if they can continue it versus Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. They really have some weapons that can step up. They could get the run game going. Josh Allen, James Cook, Latavius Murray. But I'm gonna go hot with this one because we see a lot when these teams come off a big time win. Even you look at the Lions. The Lions came off of a couple of big wins. They were kind of due for a loss versus Ravens, and the Lions and the Broncos are 2 totally different teams. The Lions are one of the better in the NFC. They're a powerhouse. I actually think the Lions might be the best team in the NFC right now. Although they did lose the Ravens pretty badly, I think the Lions have been the most dominant and probably the most consistent, if you ask me. But Tones, with his hot take, the thing is with the Broncos is, they've gotten better. And usually it's the other way around with bad teams. If we're expecting a team to be bad, sometimes they'll start good. And then sometimes they'll kind of tail off and they'll kind of simmer down. They won't be as good. But the Broncos, they're getting better as the season goes on. And typically when teams get better as the season goes on, they're one of the, I'm not saying the Broncos are a great football team, that they're a very good football team, but the Broncos can maybe make a run at this thing if they can continue to play the way they've been playing on defense. If they, if Russ can, and they can get the run game going, if Russ can make a few nice plays, we'll see. I don't think the Broncos are a great football team. I could be overreacting a little bit, but it's still early in the season. The Chiefs usually take that loss in October. It's just kind of guaranteed. But now you're playing the Bills. The Bills are a little more high-powered right now. The offense is very good. The defense is about just as good or better when healthy. But I'm going to go hot because, they're riding high. They're pumped up. They're coming out of a big win versus the Chiefs. Can they hang with the big boys 2 weeks in a row? Big question. Because when they played a big boy in the beginning of the season, the offense, we all saw how that went. But we will see. So the Broncos beating the Bills on Monday Night Football. I'm going to go hot. I think it's a little out there. Now, like I just talked about, they did just beat the Chiefs. But I don't think they beat the Bills. I don't think so. But if they do, then maybe we need to start talking about the Broncos a little bit more. Like, seriously. But, yeah, man. Broncos beat the Bills on Monday Night Football. I'm going hot. And that's all we got for Hot Take Tuesday. We have 3 hot takes. Really kind of flew through this one. I guess it's just the way the episode went. We've had a few episodes that were 45 minutes, almost 50 minutes long. We're really getting up there in time. But, yeah, that's going to do it for episode 25 of season 2. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I apologize this wasn't as long as an episode, but it is what it is. And, next week we will be doing a mini giveaway, and everyone who provides a hot take will be entered into the giveaway. So, little thing there. And, everyone who has really been around doing hot takes, for episode 26 is going to be a special one. Maybe, it's something you do at 25 or, like this episode. But we're going to do it next episode. It's just the way the cookie crumbles and the way it's been. But I appreciate you guys really for being here and really being a part of something great. We're growing into something really good here. I know I haven't posted in the last couple of days, trying to really just improve things, get better at talking, try and study some things, and just trying to get better. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where your fans welcome. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you won't see any future videos. Remember, if you do drop a hot take next week, you will be entered into a mini giveaway. The prize will not be revealed yet. It will be revealed I'm not sure when it will be revealed, but I'm gonna reveal on the Discord. We'll do a little mini giveaway. So you guys, if you want to participate in that giveaway, join the Discord and throw your hot take in there, and we'll see where it goes from there. So I appreciate you guys. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.